Okay, 32 years ago today, June 4th, 1989, was the beginning of a great tragedy in the nation of China. Hi, I'm the colorblind architect, and today is June 4th, 2021. So 32 years ago, like I said, the Chinese Communist Party, as I term them, the illegitimate occupying force in what used to be known as the Ming Dynasty. And yes, I said it. Yeah, I think the Chinese Communist Party is an illegitimate government. They are a mafia. They are a criminal organization. And they are enslaving 1.4 billion people. And it's really sad. But 32 years ago, they cracked down on the Tiananmen Square protests that had started in April of 1989. And massacred thousands of people, and then systematically silenced any dissent, and also systematically removed all references to the Tiananmen Square massacre or the protests from history as much as they could. And it used to be that America was actively trying to make sure that people could remember this stuff, because it's like, hey, look, this is an atrocity. And no, currently our Manchurian candidate, pretender-in-chief, Joe Biden, he's bought and paid for by the Chinese Communist Party. It's really sad how far we've fallen. And why? Because our business leaders, people like, what's his face, Mark Cuban, what a moron that guy is. I mean, they care more about their money. They care more about, enriching the Chinese Communist Party, because they see it as, oh, look at this huge market. Look at this great place where we can sell all this product. I mean, Hollywood basically destroying their own movies, cutting it up, and making them drivel, making them complete trash movies, because they want to make sure that they pass the censors of the Chinese Communist Party. Movies that are being sold and displayed here in America being ruined because they want to make money selling in China. And it is a horrible crime what our political leaders, both Democrats and Republicans, and also our business leaders have done over the course of the past 30 years, selling out to a mafia organization like the Chinese Communist Party. All because they saw dollar signs. It's like, yay, we can make more money. Well, you've sold your souls. And here we are, as people, the average citizens. All we knew was that we were getting cheaper prices at Walmart. And we're paying for it now. The chickens have come home to roost. This is no longer the free United States of America. We are quickly becoming China, because the Biden administration, they actively want us to be like China. Why? Because they see China as being successful. They see the authoritarian system, they see that as more efficient and, more successful, because, well, they see the maglev trains that China has built, and they go, oh, we want maglev trains. Yeah, okay, maglev trains are cool, but at what cost? I mean, you know what I think is a lot cooler? Is an interstate freeway system that allows you to go anywhere at any time with your own freaking car. Now, look, I grew up loving trains, okay? I used to have toy trains. I played with them when I was a kid. And you know what? Then I grew up and realized, wow, trains kind of suck. Because, there's a train here in Salt Lake called the Front Runner, okay? And I used to take that to work. You know what that train doesn't do? It doesn't follow your own schedule. And it doesn't stop where you want it to. So you'd have to bring like a bike or have a bus pass to be able to take another bus to get to somewhere else. And it would end up taking you like an hour to go from 10 miles away to the place downtown where your job is. And, I've got this car now, and I just take this car, and I can get to the center of downtown from my house 10 miles away. I can get there in 10 freaking minutes because of this thing called a freeway where I can drive at 60 plus miles per hour. Actually, the speed limit here is 70. So I'm actually driving 70 miles per hour to get to my office. Okay? So my point is that while these idiots in Washington are drooling over all the beautiful things that, oh, look at the Chinese Communist Party. They've built all these wonderful things, the maglev trains, and they've built up their infrastructure so fast. And they're trying to duplicate that, completely forgetting the fact that we already have a really great system. One in which liberty is protected. Yes, liberty. You remember that thing that we went to war with the British over in 1776 because we didn't want to pay a 1% stamp tax? Yeah, that was over a 1% tax, and now we're paying like 30-40%. When you add up all the payroll taxes, the Social Security scam tax, and all this stuff, we're paying like 30-40% taxes to a government that's trying to strip away our freedoms in the name of enriching themselves, making their oligarchy the power elites so that they can enslave us masses and force us to ride a bunch of stupid trains. Oh, but yeah, you know what? They're maglev. They're going to float. Who freaking cares? I want my freedom. Okay? So, June 4th. Don't forget it. Don't forget all those poor Chinese people who were fighting for liberty. We should have been backing them up 32 years ago. We should have been fighting on their behalf. We should have been saying, Chinese Communist government, you need to go away into the dustbin of history. You are an irrelevant trash government. You are a criminal organization. We should have been saying that. But no. Apparently we didn't care enough. Apparently we wanted cheap stuff at Walmart. So, that's something for you to stew on. In the meantime, as I said in my last video, I've declared June Emancipation Month in honor of Juneteenth. June 19th, the day in which the last of the slaves in Texas were notified that they were free, thanks to the Emancipation Proclamation in 1865, and I want to make this a thing. Look, I don't care about the whole Pride Month thing. That they can say what they want, but for me, I think it's way more important to celebrate liberty. And you know what? The great thing is, liberty also includes your freedom to be gay if you want to. Whatever. That's your thing. But for the average person, what's important is the liberty to be able to speak your mind, be free, to be able to worship God in the way of your choosing, with the religion of your choosing, right? Or the freedom from religion if you want it, But, either way, that means you get to choose, am I an atheist, or am I a Christian, or am I a Jew, or am I a Muslim? You know what? That's way better, right? Okay, how about the freedom to not have illegal search and seizure? The Fourth Amendment. Or how about the right to keep and bear arms? We've got a lot of really great freedoms in this country that are enshrined in the Constitution. And I'd kind of like to keep them. And so, you know what? Joe Biden, you can go screw off, because I'm so sick and tired of these Democrats and all these politicians trying to save us from ourselves. Because, we're just too stupid. We average citizens, we're too stupid. And we need to be protected from ourselves. Yeah. Thank you, overseeing government that couldn't figure out that a mask was helpful in the beginning and not helpful once everybody was already infected. The same geniuses who kept on trying to tell us that it wasn't a lab leak and that it was from a bat several hundred miles away from the wet market that wasn't even sold at that wet market. Yeah, okay, sure. Anyways, I don't want to digress. I wanted to try to keep this a little bit of a shorter video, but there's your rant today. I just had to speak up. June 4th, remember the fallen, the people who were brutally massacred, and the 1.4 billion people who are still slaves to an illegitimate government that we should have never recognized. The legitimate government is in Taiwan. Yes, I said it. The Republic of China, aka Taiwan, is the legitimate republic that should be ruling over the nation of China. And I say ruling over because unlike the People's Republic of China, which is a sham criminal organization, the Republic of China actually allows their people to vote. They actually allow them liberties like, judicial proceedings, trials. They actually allow them freedom of speech and stuff. To a certain degree, obviously not as free as America, but still, I think I'd rather support the people who are actually wanting liberty. And hey, what about Hong Kong? Those people that we screwed over by not supporting well enough and who are now enslaved by the Communist Party because we weren't willing to speak up loud enough, because we were too busy freaking out over Orange Man Bad tweeting stuff at 3 a.m. on the toilet. Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously, we need to wake up. Wake up and stop waving these stupid rainbow flags because, hey, guess what? In case you haven't noticed, we don't give a crap about your sexual orientation, okay? You can be free to be gay or straight, whatever. We don't freaking care. Stop shoving that in our face and let's actually talk about some real issues. Some real issues like the fact that we've got slaves in North Korea, slaves in China. We've got actual slave trade in Africa where people are being sold into slavery on actual auction blocks. You've got actual slavery even in the U.S. in the form of sex slavery where children are being kidnapped and sold into sex slavery. Okay, do you want to talk about real issues? Do you want to talk about real stuff that we need to solve as a people? Then how about we actually concern ourselves with real liberty? How about we actually concern ourselves with what our mission given to us by God is? To proclaim liberty to the captives. I'm quoting Isaiah chapter 58. It's the section talking about fasting. What is the purpose of a fast? And you might be wondering, what does fasting have to do with it? Well, because fasting's one of the ways that you bring yourself closer to God, so that when you're praying and supplicating to our Heavenly Father, you're showing forth a little bit of personal sacrifice when you're going to Him. It's a little way of saying, hey, I'm not just saying these words, I actually mean it. And then you ask God for that miracle. Now, I'm one of those people who believes that you need both miracles of God, but you also need people to do action. You can't just pray about it. You actually have to do stuff. And in this case, we Americans, we need to stop being silent. We need to stand up and speak. This trash that's going on in Washington, where they're trying to strip away our liberties, they're trying to pass higher taxes and, take away gun rights, and they're trying to take away intellectual property rights. I mean, this is insane what's going on right now. And it's happening because of a bunch of idiots who thought, oh, but Orange Man bad tweeting. Yeah, exactly. We need to stand up for liberty, and we need to proclaim liberty to the captives. So, sorry for being a little heavy on this one. It's just, I am so sick and tired of the evils of this world. And I want us to stand up. I want us to end them. We need to end the evil. You want to talk about real atrocities? Then stop talking about this critical race theory crap, which is a total fraud, and actually focus on real issues. Real enslavement. There are over 1 million Uyghurs in the western province of China who are in concentration camps. And you're complaining about what pronoun somebody's calling you by. It's sickening. Wake up, America, and stand up for liberty. And with that, I'm the Colorblind Architect. Peace out.